Overflows.
Be in the moment. You can live in two ways, either in time or in eternity. Living in time, metaphorically, is called this shore. Living in eternity, metaphorically, is called the other shore. The gate to enter into eternity is here now, this very moment. To live in time is to live either in past or future. Mind lives in time, in the past or the future. It is, and both are not. The past is no more, the future is not yet, and the mind lives in something that is not. Mind Mind's existence is very shadowy. It's a pseudo experience. It is just a reflection in the mirror, the moon seen reflected in the lake, always entangled either with the past or with the future. The mind always lives either in the past or the future. It cannot be in the present. It is absolutely impossible for the mind to be in the present. When you are in the present, the mind is not there anymore because mind means thinking. How can you think in the present? You can think about the past. The past has already become the part of the memory. The mind can work it out, but you can think about the future. It is not yet, but the mind can dream about it. Sex is living in the moment. Therefore, sex is physical manifestation or expression of existential bioenergy in the present moment. Remember, you cannot see the energy. It is and remains invisible as well. Only its different manifestations can be seen as manifestations of existential bioenergy is immensely valuable because God has chosen it to be the passage for life. Sex is not the creation of man, it is sublime, existential bioenergy. Manifesting at the level of the water center, it is known as sex energy. The energy is innocent. It is like electrical energy that can manifest through any instrument. Its manifestation and source. Instrument determines its name, function, qualities, and the nature of its manifestation. Through an air conditioner, it gives cool air. Through heater, it gives air and so hot air and so on. So too, the existential bioenergy differs in its manifestation. Nothing can be more valuable than life. God has chosen sex as the vehicle for life. Life comes through sex. In sex and out of sex, sex transforms you. It takes your mind beyond duality to the state of bliss, inexpressible, but you have to work for it and go beyond. To be here now means getting out of time. You will have to pull yourself out of the past. You will have to be out of the past. You will have to slip out of the past as a snake slips out of his old skin. And you have to be very alert not to get entangled in the future projections, dreams, etc. If you can avoid past and the future, you are alert, you are aware. This is what Buddha means samashti, right awareness. Then you are now and you are here. Where else can you be? That is where you really are. Mind can do two things. Either it can move to the past. Certainly there is enough space to move. The vast space of the past. You can go on and on, or the mind can move into the future. Again, there is vast space, readily available memory, readily available space with no end to it. You can go on imagining and dreaming till the end of the eternity. There will be no end to your dreaming. But how can mind function in the present? It has no space for the mind to make any movement. The present is just a dividing line and nothing else. It has no space. It divides time into the past and the future, and it exists just as dividing line. You can be in the present, but you cannot think. For thinking, a certain space is needed. Thoughts need space because they are just like things. Thoughts are subtle things. They are material. Thoughts are not spiritual because the dimension of spirituality starts only when there are no thoughts. Thoughts are material objects, very subtle and very material things need space. You cannot be thinking in the present. The moment you start thinking, it is already the past. You can see the sun is rising, you can see and you can tell someone, what a beautiful sunrise. It is already gone in the past. When sun is rising, there is not even space enough to say how beautiful. Because when you say these two words, how beautiful, the experience has already become past. This is very subtle and we cannot see it. The mind already knows it in the memory, but exactly when the sun is rising, exactly when sun is on the rise, how can you think? What can you think? You can be with the rising sun, but you cannot think. For you, there is enough space, but not for the thoughts. I have heard Lao Tse used to go for a walk every day early in the morning before sunrise. One day, one of his neighbors sought permission from Lao Tse to accompany him for the walk. Hesitatingly, Lao Tse allowed the neighbor to accompany him. As they were walking, the sun was rising. The entire sky was filled with the color of the rising sun. Probably the man would have witnessed the rising sun for the first time. He could not resist the temptation and told Lao Tse, "See how beautiful the rising sun is. See how beautiful is the rising sun and nothing else." Lao Tse did not say anything then. When the two reached home, Lao Tse told the neighbor, "From tomorrow you are not going to accompany me for the walk. You talk too much." To Lao Tse, a man of awakening, even a single word is noise. You see a beautiful flower, you see a beautiful flower in the garden, and then immediately you pick up the phone to tell your friend, "What a beautiful rose flower I just saw, and I will mail you the image." Now you are not with the rose this moment. It is already a memory. When the flower is there, you are there, both are present to each other. How can you think? And what can you think? How is thinking possible? Thinking is possible only when you are not with the flower. There is no space for it. The space is so narrow. In fact, there is no space at all that you and the flower can even exist as two. Love is a very narrow space. There are not enough space for two, only one can exist. And if seeing the flower, thinking begins, then it is part of the past. That is why, in a deep presence, you are the flower and the flower has become you. Both you and the flower are thoughts in the mind. When there is no thinking, who is the flower and who is the one who is observing? The observer becomes the observed. Suddenly, all boundaries are lost. Suddenly, you have penetrated into the flower, and the flower has penetrated in you. Suddenly, you are not two, one exists, only one. In that moment, the Advait, the non dual, has happened. You are non dual. But if you start thinking, you have become two again, because flower cannot think. Seeing the flower, thoughts arise in you. Seeing your spouse, thoughts arise in you and in your spouse also. If you do not think, duality cannot exist. When you exist with the flower, not thinking, it is a dialogue. Not a dialogue, but a dialogue. Dio means two, dialogue means one. When you exist with your lover, it is a dialogue, not a duologue, because the two are not there, sitting by the side of your lover, holding the hands. You simply exist. You do not think of the days gone by. Also, you do not think of the future that is coming, not yet born. You are here now, and it is so beautiful to be here now, and so intense that no thought can penetrate this intensity. And narrow is the gate of the present. Not even two can enter into it together, only one. In the present moment, thinking is not possible, dreaming is not possible, because dreaming is nothing but thinking in pictures. Both are things, both are materialistic. When you are in the present moment without thinking, you are for the first time spiritual. A new dimension opens, and that dimension is the dimension of awareness. You have not known that dimension as yet. The entire spiritual journey is to know that dimension, the dimension of awareness, which is beyond any kind of thinking, just being enough for now.